Hi, everybody. I am Michelle Hill, your legacy builder at Winning Proof, and this is another Winning Proof Unscripted. And I just take this opportunity to do some off-the-cuff casual talks with some of my clients and some of the people I know just to talk about their experience, talk about their life. So today I have the pleasure of having Rashad McCants on this broadcast, and I'm really, really excited about that. Rashad is the 2005 NCAA UNC basketball champion and author of Plantation Education, the exploitation of the modern day athlete student. So welcome, Rashad.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you. So tell people who are watching a little bit about Rashad the athlete and Rashad the man.
Well, I guess I'll start with I'm from Asheville, North Carolina, and I went to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, where I thrived as a college basketball player and a collegiate athlete, and also was able to follow my dreams to go on to the NBA, where I was the 14th pick in the 2005 draft, and I was able to play for the Minnesota Timberwolves and live out my lifelong dream of making it to the NBA. And from there, I was able to play international ball for about 6 or 7 years before I fully focused on education reform and business development for entrepreneurs and independent entertainers.
Okay, well, that's great. And I have to just dive into the deep end. You are someone that everybody loves to hate. And because along with Mary Willingham, you help expose academic fraud at UNC. So speak to how that affected your life in general.
It really helped me realize, what the real fighters fight for, and that there is no real credit given to the real fighters and the real warriors of the real problems that pretty much plague the planet. And I believe that educational genocide is one of those. And I believe that the education platform that exists today is not there to help not only athletes but just the everyday class goer, everyday citizen that wants to build themselves as entrepreneurs. It's failed them pretty much so just to make them workers. So I feel like just addressing what we've addressed so far in the book, Plantation Education, we've been able to peel back a lot of the misunderstandings of what entrepreneurship is and the mentality of, the Black athlete and the Black student. And we tackle a lot of the things that need to be addressed.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the best time being immersed, in just telling your information and relaying it. So it was one of my favorite ones I've ever worked on. So if you could relive that part of your life, would you do anything different?
I would have actually went more aggressively about spreading the word. I was a little bit hesitant with spreading the word and trying to um, get people on my side and find allies and so on and so forth. Simply because of the temperature in the I guess you would say the controversy behind the book. Pushed a lot of different buttons, and there was a lot of misinformation, a lot of misunderstandings, and it was hard to get allies. So I would have took a different approach with the book during that time, even with being the whistleblowers that we were, and bringing to light what was really going on. There is a different type of way that we could have done, spreading that information where we could have got more allies, because now the temperature is perfect for everyone to jump on board with understanding that the plantation education does exist, and that the education part of the whole Black Lives Matter uproar, the whole temperature of the nation as it exists right now, and this whole racist type of illusion it all stems back to the education part. We had more intelligent people, intelligent thinkers, outside the box thinkers. Racism wouldn't continue to exist. People wouldn't keep this victim mentality where they're blaming other people for their own miseries.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And do you think it's time to forgive and put history in the background? Because a lot of people just really, you bring up your name and it just, there is a lot of reaction that goes on a lot of times. Do you think it's time for people to forgive? To what would you say about that?
People are going to have their own reservations about a lot of different things that they, either believe or don't believe, but no one can dismiss my truth. So, when it comes to me and my own testimony about my life, I can't ask anyone to forgive me for my truth, and I can't ask anyone for forgiveness for theirs. The only thing that's going to help us get past, what has happened is to rebuild and to heal from it. And I think that for me, asking for, everyone's forgiveness in the part of, moving forward in life and not worrying about the strife and the negativity behind what's happened and all the events. Just moving forward now, I think solutions is the only option that can heal us all back together and bring some type of peace, is the accountability on both sides, and then also understanding the solution and what it's going to take to actually, build some type of new world for the youth. And I think that's most important than anything. And if no one's really willing to step forward to do that, and then it's my responsibility to do that, and I'm going to do that. And I haven't stopped, my education reform or building different opportunities for the future. That's not going to stop, and I don't really need their permission or anyone's permission to do so.
That's right. Do you care what people think? Or you're going to do your mission? You're going to fulfill your mission. Do you care?
No, I don't think anybody should care about anyone's, negative judgment on their pursuit in life. That doesn't get any energy or any attention from me. So if they're not there to support it, they're in the way, because I'm just a positive, righteous, superhuman that's here to do good by the humanity. So, anybody that's trying to stop that, they're in the way.
Yeah, it's a big energy waster to care what other people think, because there's always going to be people who don't agree with your stance or don't agree with what you agree with. So, I've been told I'm out of my mind for having certain viewpoints. So you can't let that stop you. So I'm glad you don't. You never have.
Definitely not.
No. So what prompted you to write your book?
Well, just the necessity of understanding where it all comes from, the origin of this mentality of why athletes and young Black males stuck in this mentality of, submission and just lack of accountability. Been kind of, I think, demasculated when it comes to just the alpha male in the household, and understanding that the man has to be the man. And the education system when it comes to the athletes, you see what's going on now with all the sports realms. We don't really have any alpha males standing forward being alphas. No alpha male is going to be kneeling or demanding that some other man give them anything. Real men fight for everything that they have, everything that they want, and they'll never surrender or kneel for any man. And that's just something that real alpha males do. And when you look at the temperature and the height of the society, we don't have a lot of those examples. So, it's important for me to step forward and try to be an example of someone that can stand in the fire and take the flames and be able to still walk around as an example of someone who could have those burns and still be healing and still be walking proudly.
Yeah, and you have endured some burns and your feet have been scorched and you have lived the brunt of those. And you're standing as would you call yourself an alpha male?
Absolutely. Even beyond that, sometimes just because of what I have endured and, what I see that is lacking, when it comes to, um, male role models and the things that we came up on in my generation and being able to have at least action figures, GI Joes, different things that were just real macho kind of things that don't exist anymore. So, for us now, we're using all these old historical, stories of horror and just massacres and just mistreatment. We're using these things to fuel the future, which shouldn't be the same thing because those things that happened before are not happening now. And that's the misinformation that's being spread. We're not being hung in the streets and not being chased down like we were in 1700s, because the book will let you know what the Willie Lynch letter really was and how that's going on right now without any cop needing to do anything, without any, you know, judge having to just, sentence anyone. Things are, people are hunting each other down on a daily basis. So it's like, for us, it's that we need some type of leadership. We need somebody to, at least a group of men that we can look up to that's going to be the center of that example.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you doing that? How are you going forth and doing that on a personal level?
Well, we're building platforms right now that can show the value of personal intellect and understanding that research and having effective role models and advisors and mentors that can shape the future. And we're going to do that through technology and virtual reality experiences, mixed reality and augmented reality. Still be able to give everybody an intimate interaction, but also being able to shape the psychology of how everyone is interacting, and trying to steer away from the social media vanity and get to the accountability and the skill set and the importance and value behind content and creating content, and be able to shape education in a way where there is no judgment, there is no racism, there is no, there is no consequence for creativity. So that's something that I'm working on. It's called Members Only America, and it's something we're looking forward to introducing to the world as, I guess you would say, a new civilization.
I love it. I love that. And it's much needed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're a leader in that. So I have, of course, let me see, I'm changing my direction. I have a copy of your book. When somebody picks up this book, what can they expect to read, or what's the top three things, say, that a reader can expect when they pick up this book?
I would say after the first chapter, they're gonna take a break. They're gonna take a break after the first chapter, and they're gonna have an extreme wake-up call on whether or not to finish the book. I think the first chapter is always the determination, the determinator of what kind of person you are, how far you're willing to go to read this book.
Yeah, absolutely. And a final word, which is the very last part, to me, that is the marching orders of anybody who reads this book is, what are you going to do? Are you going to be part of the plantation? Are you going to be part of the rebellion?
Absolutely. And, that always speaks for itself when it comes to the celebration at the destination, being able to get to the end and being able to say, well, this was a ride. This book gave me everything I wanted, from highs and lows to, climax to drama to a little bit of action. And that's what we strive for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love it. And I have to say, on a personal level, you were just like, I have to put my paper down. You were like one of the best clients I ever had. I really appreciated working with you. you were articulate, you're intelligent, and it was a real joy to help you put this together. So I have to say that.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And you already know that you've met my family. You was able to speak to them directly, and I was able to praise you then,
Oh,
and even praising you now. It's, if there's anyone in the reference, anyone that wants some help writing, you are number one in line for me, to be able to articulate what you've done with my book and, put it to the public the way it was delivered. I couldn't ask for nothing more. And it's still a bestseller in my book, even though we haven't gotten the acknowledgement for it. Once everyone gets to read it, we'll get that acknowledgement for sure.
well, absolutely. And I appreciate that too. And it was a joy meeting your family. And, I loved when we were sitting on the couch and your family was around. And this is one of my favorite moments, is that you pointed to me and you said, "This is no ordinary white girl." And I love that. That I will never forget that. And I appreciated that a lot.
No problem. It's the truth.
So how are you spending your time now? You told us a little bit about what you're doing with the education. Do you have anything else on your plate that you're working on?
Yeah, I have a few other things. I have a vegan energy shot as similar to like a 5-hour energy shot that we're working on for the last year and a half, bringing to market in early 2021. Aside from that, I have just started a fitness company called Results that does fitness programs, meal prep, and massage therapy. So we're going to be unleashing that this year, and just pushing forward with the members only. Those three things right now are in the forefront, but we have lots and lots of other things coming as well. But those are the focal points.
Okay, yeah, and you always have a lot of things on your plate that you're working on. I think you are really a true entrepreneur, because you're strategic about it. You just don't go off on rabbit trails, but you're very intentional about what you put your energy into.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to be.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, is there?
No time to waste at all.
No. So I have to ask you this. In my research, I saw that Sports Illustrated published an article about your hand delivering a letter to the UNC basketball office during the 2020 ACC tournament this year. Do you care to speak about why you hand delivered the letter?
No, well, all of that is just what you just read is very inaccurate. As far as the source of the question and all of that, it wasn't a handwritten letter or anything like that. It was a conversation that I wanted to have with them in person, and they were unavailable. And so I just left a letter there as a memo that, I wanted to have a conversation in person. You guys weren't here. I don't know when I'll be back. But all is forgiven. I hope you guys can forgive whatever has happened. And, I forgive you guys for what's happened, and hopefully you guys move forward as I am, because I'm going to move forward from this with no, ill will towards any of you guys, and I hope you feel the same. And it was pretty much left at that.
That is wonderful, because it's like I've seen so much media, and I did a lot of research for your book, and there's so much misinformation out there, and people, like, I read this article and you take it as truth, and people really don't know, or it's misrepresented. So how do you handle the misrepresentation when you see things on the media or online that misrepresent what you've done?
Well, it's misrepresented me my whole career, starting my freshman year. So I'm used to, someone just taking something from the internet. It's just pretty much lazy journalism. It's gotten to the point now where it's not even journalism anymore. It's just clickbait. Everyone's just copy and pasting questions and conversations that people are having, and they don't even go into the depth of listening to the whole conversation anymore. So, the intellect is disappearing because no one cares about intelligence anymore, or articulation, or being smart. It's more so what's trending, what's fun, what's popular, what can get the most likes, what can get the most attention. So, a lot of the questions I end up dealing with and answering majority of the time are being resurfaced off of either Wikipedia, YouTube, or Google. And it's so calculated and so expected to the point now. It's just pretty hard. It's hard to have conversations and interviews without, having to answer the same questions without it being genuine or authentic. And it's weird, but it happens so often that, you know, there's going to be sometimes you're going to get insulted in the process of just the wildness of the information that is being spread so fast.
Yeah, and media now is more opinion than it is, and there's an agenda behind it. It's not telling the facts, like you said. So a lot of these articles, I think, are written without even talking to you. They're just putting, like you said, they're putting together pieces of facts that they've gathered.
They're just blogs. They're just blogs now. They're not articles. They're not publications. They're blogs. And if you don't know the difference between a publication and a blog, you will never. I mean, that's the difference between Google. Now they don't separate them, so you wouldn't know if this is a publication that is in a bookstore or in a magazine, or is this just on some random website with someone's opinion of who you are, and they don't know anything about anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so true. And, I applaud you for just standing up in the midst of all of the negative media and the hate media, and just really, slamming who you are as a person. And, I've heard it personally, and I just, like, you don't know the man. Rashad McCants, the man. You just are going by, what you are reading, what other people have told you. So it's a
imagine if they all knew I like Donald Trump.
There would be an uprising.
Oh wow. Me and Donald Trump getting together? Oh Lord.
Oh dear. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, good for you.
Headline news. Oh my God.
That would be headline news, and they'll find another way to crucify you. But,
oh yeah, I welcome that. If there's anybody you want to go down with, it'll be him, man. He don't care. He gonna die on his own cross, and I like that. I like that. He's brave.
That's right.
He's brave. If anything, he's brave.
That's right. I just watched a Netflix special on Donald Trump, and it was like he dances to the tune of his own beat. And like he does not care what people think about him. He's going to do what he's going to do, and I have to respect that.
You have to.
In the face of unpopular opinion.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why you have to applaud it, because, everyone's against it and they don't know why, and that he doesn't care because you don't even know why you're against it. So why would he care that you're against it?
Absolutely. I love that. And so how can people buy your book and get in touch with you via social media?
I'm on Instagram, King Rashad McCants. And I don't have a Facebook or a Twitter, but you could definitely buy the book on Amazon.com and just type in Plantation Education or any book platform online. I think you can find it, and you can order it and just leave a review, after reading that first chapter or that last chapter, and tell me what you think.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So I just really appreciate you spending some time today, and it's been a while since we've talked, so it was refreshing to see your face and to get to talk to you and just have a conversation.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you sharing your platform.
Well, thank you. And I want to tell everybody thank you for watching Winning Proof Unscripted, and I'll come back with another episode soon. I think Friday is the next day. So you all have a good day. I'm trying to get into the y'all have a good day. So see you next time.
All right.